In the second installment of our amazing world bike tour from Vietnam, we leave the Mekong River Delta and the metropolis Saigon behind.
Madness!
Cycling north, we'll pass through Vietnam's southeast, the Central Highlands and the Central Coast.
There will be dramatic changes in landscapes, climates and local lifestyles. We'll see Dalat, Da Nang and Hue, but we mostly look forward to the in-between, the unpredictability of it all. The surprises and gems we didn't even know they exist. The daring adventure of being on the road in a far and foreign country with just a general direction in mind.
It is going to be extremely hot and messy, but first back to quieter roads, to simple but authentic Vietnamese rural life and of course, food. We are again joined by our friend Agen. Together we decide to follow the coast north to Phan Thiet before climbing into the mountains.
Once we reach altitude, the climate should be more comfortable. Here, 2 days ride north of Saigon, the coastal road is very quiet. We pass several unfinished hotel and resort construction sites, probably remnants of the pandemic.
Arev! Lass uns hin!
The water looks so refreshing, but the beaches are completely deserted. Clearly, the holiday season hasn't started yet.
Because of my saddle sores, I decide to sit this one out. I can't use any sand and salt in my pants.
Fishing and the manufacturing of fish sauce used to be the main source of income on this coast. The recent rise of tourism as the region's primary employer can be attributed to its beaches and the relative proximity to Ho Chi Minh City.
Look at this massive holiday complex that seems so void of life. We've already seen several along the coast and they all appeared empty and sadly generic. We could probably get a cheap and very comfortable new room, but quickly head on. Remember my squeaky suspension seat post? Well, it's still squeaky.
After another day of cycling, we reach Phan Thiet. They still have a ridiculous amount of fishing boats.
An amazing variety of different tofu or meat-like things.
Of course, we are speaking about a Quan Com Chai, the typical vegan Vietnamese eatery. We still can't get enough of them.
They often operate as a buffet where you pay per plate and offer an unbelievable value for money. They are packed with flavor, healthy veggies and a staggering amount of vegan protein.
This is the Asian Highway 1. We've been on this road a couple of times, mostly in Iran, but the road starts like 100 kilometers west of Istanbul and goes all the way to Tokyo. It's over 20,000 kilometers long. And we will see it a few more times, I guess. Actually, apart from back in Iran, we also cycled a bit on the AH1 in the far east of Turkey and very briefly in eastern Thailand.
We could have saved so much navigation effort following just this single road all the way. Unfortunately, that has been rarely even possible due to regional conflicts and geopolitics. Today we just pass beneath it as we turn away from the coast towards the steep slopes of the Central Highlands. We are cycling through the former Binh Thuan province, one of the most arid regions of Vietnam. From November to April there is barely any rain, resulting in the withered look. However, they managed to achieve a significant agricultural output by drawing huge amounts of water from the Central Highlands.
It's 12:30, it's very, very hot and we are here in the middle of nowhere, but we just found a coffee or something, so we can at least get something to drink. And then we should also hopefully find something to eat. That would be great.
Well, they do not offer any food, but we certainly take some shade and cool refreshments.
Vietnamese coffee.
It's not a coffee, it's a monster thing.
Strong as, I don't know. It's very strong. It's very dark, it's very strong.
They put like 7 kilograms of sugar, probably. It has 25 kilos of coffee for one glass.
But I asked him to put some condensed milk.
You didn't.
He did. It's a.
Black condensed milk.
It's
Black
It's
condensed?
very, very strong.
No, it was white. So
But it has no condensed milk. Look,
yeah.
where is it?
I don't know. I saw how he put it.
How they make coffee this strong remains a mystery.
What we do know, the crazy amount of caffeine and sugar makes our hearts race and push our pedals relentlessly. That is all we can do anyways. Keep pushing until we reach the main road, and with it, a shop, a restaurant or a guest house. Also ich schätze, ich habe vielleicht 4 Stunden geschlafen. Last night was our first night camping since weeks because the guest house here was not open anymore. Actually, they turned it into a birdhouse. So we asked if we could put our tents in the restaurant, and they said sure. But it was very, very hot.
And
So-
very loud.
And very loud, like every car that goes past here, trucks, tractors,
The stupid dogs.
yeah, small puppies. And they're playing and they're afraid in the night, so they're barking all the time. We decided to get up really early today because we have a big climb coming up, a little over 1,000 meters, and it's going to be very hot, obviously. So it's 5:45 right now. We hope to hit the road within the next 20 minutes.
Yep.
Even though we had a rough night, it was very kind that they let us put our tents under their roof, take a bucket shower, and so on.
The first 10 kilometers we ride along this huge reservoir at the foot of the mountains. Now, at near the end of the dry season, the water level is low. Come on, bye-bye.
Come on, bye-bye.
Unlike the day before, we make sure to stock up properly.
How much cost?
Ba chị tới đây coi nó nói cái gì anh chút thôi 20.
No, how much cost?
20. 20.
What?
The quintessential Vietnamese classic banh mi layers savory meats and rich pâté inside a crisp French-style baguette, finished with the crunch of fresh vegetables and cilantro.
We got some provisions for our climb. Banh mi.
For 20k. Quite expensive, but it's worth it.
Hopefully. We did not ride mountains this steep and high since northern Thailand. That was in relatively cool December and it was still painful.
Oh my god.
Here in southeastern Vietnam, they call this time of year the furnace season. That sounds drastic, and over the coming weeks, we are going to find out just how drastic it feels.
Oh my god.
This is very tough, even for us. While Argin's bicycle is lighter, he suffers from a serious lack of gear range. As a result, he is pushing his pedals even harder.
Since he can't spin in a very low granny gear, he muscles through with brute force.
that is called meshing and is not recommended, as it puts an incredible strain on rider and equipment alike.
Ergin, what happened?
I bought a very cheap chain.
That happened.
Very bad
I
chain.
bought the same chain. 9 speed.
You have also from Sunrise.
Yeah, but I never tried it.
I hope I have the
This
Kettenschloss.
doesn't look very good.
It is true, the chain could be a counterfeit. They look shockingly genuine but are complete trash.
Jetzt ist raus. Okay.
I unknowingly used a fake Shimano chain back in Thailand as well.
So. Fertig.
On a routine maintenance check, I noticed that it had stretched 0.75% after just 1000 kilometers in flat terrain. A proper chain lasts us at least 3 times as far. This is why you ideally carry some spare quick links. However, since Argin runs a 6-speed chain, our 9-speed pins and quick links would be of no use for him. He now pushes the bicycle when the gradient reaches 10%, which is a lot of the time. 1000 meters up in just 11 kilometers. Go figure.
Around noon, we reach what has to be the most perfectly placed Café Vong.
Matthias, your juice.
Well, not coming to me.
No problems, Matthias.
What a great service and view. I could really get used to this.
In many countries we cycled, we found specific go-to midday rest stops. The hammock cafes of southern Vietnam easily make the top of the list.
After a nice nap and a noodle soup and plenty of refreshing drinks, we are ready to continue cycling. Or pushing, of course. There's a German saying, wer sein Rad liebt, der schiebt. Meaning, those who love their bicycle, walk it.
By late afternoon, we covered over 50 kilometers and 1,100 meters vertically, and call it a day.
We're on the last climb to Dalat. It's only another 8 kilometers or so. Yippee! And even though it's in the middle of the day and the sun is scorching hot, it's not so hot because we are almost at 1,500 meters. Ah, that's so good.
Up here the temperature is almost 10 degrees Celsius lower. Also the humidity is low enough so that some of the sweat evaporates, which is extremely pleasant.
Known as the City of Eternal Spring, Dalat is a high-altitude sanctuary where the crisp mountain air and sprawling pine forests offer a cool, sharp reprieve from the tropical heat of the south. Watch out though! The midday sun's UV rays at this altitude and latitude are dangerous.
Dalat's 1,500 meter elevation and surrounding plateau creates a unique temperate microclimate, often described as 4 seasons in a day. That is because a single day in Dalat starts with a misty 15 degrees Celsius spring morning, becoming a sharp, high-altitude summer reaching up to 28 degrees by noon. As the sun dips, the air cools rapidly into a temperate 18 degrees autumn, eventually bottoming out at a 10 degrees winter night that feels worlds away from the tropical coast.
This allows the region to sustain Vietnam's only high-altitude Arabica cultivation and lots of delicate produce, like strawberries for example. Descending toward the city center, the French colonial architecture and the centerpiece of Xuan Hong Lake reveal a little Paris. When we leave Dalat towards the coast, Matthias is a bit sad. He is not looking forward to getting back into the furnace.
After a very hilly day, we approach Can Le Pass around sunset. Fortunately, there's a small park ranger station right at the pass. We ask if we can put our tents under their front roof.
Okay. Good man. Okay. I got just the installation made and the whole big blanket just like this. These people are just too nice, you know.
I think you will
Probably
need it.
it's gonna be cold. We're literally in the clouds.
There is a fascinating amount and variety of moths. They seem to particularly like Argin's tent.
Good night, Argin.
Are you kidding me? Good night.
After breakfast and a little chat with the station chief, we hit the road again. Today we get to enjoy one of the most pleasant descents of our entire journey so far. That means something, considering that we've cycled well over 16,000 kilometers at this point, and did not shy away from the mountains, rather the opposite.
So, down from Kanle Pass at over 1600 meters to sea level in one go, 30 kilometers of continuous descent. It feels almost like flying down this beautiful mountain. Effortlessly, but so very hard-earned, we treasure every second of it. The wind roars past our ears. Nothing can stop us.
It also gets warmer, or rather hotter by the minute. As the road begins to level out, it feels like a giant blowtorch directed at us. Closing in on Nha Trang, I regret our decision to leave the Central Highlands.
Gladly, there is always an upside.
We totally didn't know, but Nha Trang is massive. There's like 5,000 hotels here.
It would be pleasant to enjoy the shade of the palm trees, but when we entered Vietnam last episode, there was a problem with my e-visa.
Woohoo!
Now my 45 days visa exemption is about to run out. I have to leave the country. For that I need a land border crossing, and the next one on our route, which I may use, is 800 kilometers north-ish of Nha Trang.
We need to cover some serious distance in about a week, which is why continuing through the Central Highlands wasn't an option. Instead, we'll follow the south central coast all the way to Hoi An. At times we have to cycle on the big main road.
Asian Highway 1!
The traffic can be annoying, mostly because of the insane noise. But the worst is this.
Ah, fuck.
This is insane. This is just... I don't know why they're doing this, but it's insane. The whole country sometimes is just in smoke. You cannot breathe. You cannot sleep well. I don't know why they're doing that.
It is about 7:30 in the morning. It's already very, very hot. Arjen is still sleeping. He wants to catch up later. He's not struggling with the heat as much as I do. Very humid, very hot. This time of the day is already 27 or something, or 30. And we are again at Highway 1, Asian Highway 1. It's very busy, so we hope that we can find a side road eventually again.
First though, we need to fill up.
An alternative to noodle soup in the morning.
During our obligatory morning coffee, we check our route. One can't always be picky. There will be meh bits, even shitty ones, but the vast majority of the time, it is just great.
In the evening, having reached Tuy Hoa as well, our friend decides to take a bus to Da Nang. He wants to do some surfing and we'll meet him there.
So,
As we continue cycling north, we can avoid most heavy traffic until Hue.
hello.
Đồ đang quay phim ấy à, cho tôi chụp tấm đây. Hello.
Hello, xin chào, hello.
What's your name?
Matthias, what's your name?
Oh, thank you.
Today we are going from a city that goes by the name Tuy Hoa or Hoi Tua, something like that. About 100 kilometers north to another city with another name. Hoi Non, maybe Hoi Non. The road is really lovely this morning.
Although in parts very bumpy and a little fragile. Apparently, we ride too close to the middle, immediately creating a little traffic jam.
Apparently this is the longest wooden bridge in all of Vietnam. Doesn't make the best impression on me, to be honest.
While we doubt that the shaky 300-meter bridge complies with the building codes, it does save us a 13-kilometer detour. Betting our lives is surely worth it.
So here we need to pay. Ciao, hello.
For most of the day, we cycle past aquacultures. The hot air is thick with the sun-scorched haze of ripening brine and sharp ammonia, where the stinging scent of slow decay transforms into a deep, earthy thrum of pure umami. It is repulsive, but there is also a hint of something appealing about it.
In the next city, a very stiff breeze blows from the sea. We don't spot one single foreign tourist. And what can we say? We love it here.
"6 a.m. in whatever the name of this city is. Really busy. I think it's the earliest that we managed to get up. We will have some coffee and then hit the road.
Khoi Nhon lays in the middle between Dalat and Hoi An, roughly 300 kilometers from both. As foreign tourists don't come here, it is still genuinely Vietnamese.
But the visa. We have to push our pedals. And it's also getting hotter by the day. Much hotter than it is normal in late April.
We have to get over the bridge. On the right side, there's a bridge. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, he's not a god. But that statue does look impressive.
Technically, we could walk up the 600 steps to the massive white Buddha, or we don't and just send the drone.
The 69 meters tall Buddha sits at an elevation of 129 meters above sea level. Including its pedestal and the lotus flower base, the structure reaches an impressive 108 meters in total. For a brief period after its completion in 2017, it was the largest seated Buddha statue in Southeast Asia.
Today we're cycling another 100 kilometers, at least if my butt can take it, because I'm suffering from saddle sores since Thailand actually. I think it's just because of the intense heat and humidity. I'm sweating so much and well, my butt is soaked in sweat basically after the first 30 minutes of riding. So let's see how it goes today. We did about 25 kilometers-ish already, 75 more to go with 2 short but steep climbs towards the end, and we hope we can do it well until the very early afternoon. Very little traffic today because the main highway is inland, which is amazing. Look at this, how quiet it is. Oh my god. This is not sustainable. I can't even drink at that rate. Shit.
Are we in a desert?
By the way, sometimes we get comments that we, or particularly Mathias, complain too much. Compared to whom, we wonder? Being on a continuous trip for years, we ride under less than ideal conditions. We carry camping gear and clothing for 4 seasons, plus an extra 12 kilograms of electronics, and spend every free minute editing videos.
We set out to see and show how it really is. Sometimes we ride in the worst season because we don't want to hop on another plane. We are not doing it because it's easy, not even because it is hard. It is what it is, and we are madly proud of it by the end of each day.
Hello, 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 Mathias, hello. I was trying to order some orange juice, but they probably only do sugar juice. We'll get them 2 sugar juice. It's also good. Hello. Come on. Oh, pure sugar cane. Another great day. My saddle sores are so-so, but also it's only 200 kilometers left to Da Nang. Yeah, I'll see how far my butt will take me today. Legs feel great though, but I'm definitely sweating way too much. That's not good.
What's great is that we met another cyclist couple going the same direction. They just checked into the same guest house the night before.
Ruth and Siebe did sleep longer, but with their lighter setup we figured they would catch up with us again. Since we're both headed for Hoi An, we ride together for 2 days.
It's 6 a.m. in the morning. We are 85 kilometers from Hoi An, maybe 200 from Hue. I need to do a visa run in 3 days. My butt is hurting really bad. We've been cycling 100 plus for a week now. This is really cool because we managed to get up early. Great.
Well, 26 degrees at 80% humidity at 6 a.m. So cool. Together we follow narrow, quiet and beautiful small roads through sleepy fishing villages for another 90 kilometers to Hoi An.
Since at least the 15th century, this once thriving port city has absorbed the world. Today a UNESCO World Heritage, its iconic mustard yellow merchant houses are a rare fusion, where indigenous Vietnamese structures meet intricate Chinese wood carvings and sturdy Japanese roof designs, all preserved in remarkable harmony.
When the night falls out on Tu Bon River, locals and visitors alike drift in traditional wooden boats, carrying forward a centuries-old tradition. They release small paper flower lanterns, each one carrying a prayer for luck, peace, and good health for their loved ones.
From Hoi An, it's just 25 kilometers to Da Nang, a major US airbase and rest and recreation hub during the Vietnam War. The city, with its endless white beaches, is among the 5 largest cities of the country today, well known for year-round tourism, fishing and its tech scene.
In Da Nang we finally part ways with all our cycling buddies. We enjoy an afternoon of crystal clear water and the shade of the umbrella.
Good morning, Vietnam. So we are just a little north of Da Nang, and today we need to cross a little mountain pass with about 500 meters of climb on our way to Hue, which we reach today, hopefully, because I need to do a border run to Laos tomorrow. It's a little bit annoying, but it's what it is.
The border run, I mean, not the ride.
About 10 minutes into the climb, I would say I'm a little bit sweaty.
It is said to be one of the most scenic rides of Vietnam, known for its winding curves, panoramic ocean views and steep forested hills, offering a dramatic and romantic landscape.
That's the sun trying to punch through the clouds.
It is called Hai Van or Ocean Cloud Pass for a good reason. The dominant process here is orographic lift. Moist air rolling in off the Bien Dong, the East Sea, hits the mountain spur and is forced upward. As it rises, it cools and condenses into the clouds and mist you see clinging to the summit.
Hello!
At just 500 meters, with the sea literally at the foot of the climb, a constant moisture supply, this mountain makes its own weather every single day. Accordingly, in stark contrast to the rest of the Central Coast, we are surrounded by super lush rainforest.
Almost at the top.
Made it to the top.
Because of the prevailing winds, it clears up pretty quickly on the northern side. Today we are really in for a treat. After a very brief stint on the AH1, we turn right on yet another picturesque country road. Soon after, we notice something weird around us.
Hello. Whoa.
For kilometers, the dunes are covered in miniature palaces, temples, towers, archways, tile courtyards, and ceramic dragons, all built for people who are no longer here. This is Anbang, the city of ghosts.
The 44 family lineages buried in these dunes have roots here going back up to 500 years. Sandy coastal land useless for farming became their traditional space for the dead. In Vietnamese culture rooted in Buddhist and Confucian tradition, the tomb you build for your ancestors speaks for your entire lineage. And here, families compete, each tomb trying to outdo the neighbors.
Most families in these fishing villages earn $2,000, perhaps $3,000 a year. A single tomb can cost $70,000. A lot of the money comes from the Viet Kieu, the diaspora that left after 1975. 9 in 10 village families have relatives abroad, funding tombs from the other side of the world.
And some don't even wait. They build their own tomb while still alive, so that when the time comes, everything is ready and nothing is left to chance.
It doesn't end.
Mày cứ nhầm khô tối nè. Anh biết gì rồi. Quen có trong điện thoại ảnh cho đây, trên Facebook. Cứ đầm rồi, cho bạn tay em thấy được.
Freshly pressed sugarcane. Very good. We've reached the outskirts of Hue. That was a long day, and tomorrow I need to do a border run, and then hopefully they let me back in. I'm sitting here at the Lao Bao border between Vietnam and Laos. I did a 160 kilometer scooter ride this morning with this red thing. Was okay. Road was pretty good. Hopefully they will not try to scam the hell out of me. Apparently this border is pretty bad in that regard. It will be the first time that happens, so we'll see. I just went through the Vietnamese side of the border, and the border officer very casually showed a 50,000 dong note to me, and I just said, for what? And then he just stamped the passport and gave it back to me. So that was easy. Let's hope it stays this way. And there it is again, the Lao Democratic Republic. Sub ID Laos. Pretty sure I got scammed for the visa on arrival. Last time we paid $40 each. Now he was insisting on 45. But yeah, so at least I got the visa run. Okay, 1 minute later, I just got stamped out of Laos. I stayed for roughly 1 minute to take a pee. So now I just need to be let in on visa exemption for 45 days. Let's go. Back in Vietnam. All in all, that took almost 4 hours of scooter ride, and now another 4 hours back. $45, one pass photo.
And so it finally happened. I got scammed on border crossing number 20. It is not about the $5, of course. I am angry, because corruption is destroying these countries. I stood there like an idiot when the Lao border officer repeated, "It is $45 now." I could not prove him wrong, as I did not even have any connectivity with my Vietnamese SIM card. Granted, this was my first border crossing without the bicycle, not even luggage, and this made me a target. He knew I needed to go back instantly, that I didn't have the time to enter Laos and try to complain about him. So please, do me, yourself, and especially any country you enter a huge favor and be prepared when you cross the border. Today we are going to visit the dragon.
Hidden in the jungle just outside Hue lies this massive creature. Built in 2004, this was meant to be a restaurant in a water park. The project went out of business fast, and today it belongs to the wild. At its heart sits this massive concrete dragon, a dystopian masterpiece and one of Vietnam's most surreal abandoned places.
It was so hot in the mouth of the dragon. I got a little sweaty.
Much safer to drive this car than be in the traffic in Vietnam.
A lot older, of course, is the imperial city of Hue. In 1802, after reunifying Vietnam, new Emperor Gia Long chose Hue as the capital of a unified kingdom stretching from the Red River to the Mekong. Here, by the Perfume River, he began building a new royal citadel, inspired by Beijing's Forbidden City, shaped by Confucian ideas of order, hierarchy and absolute rule. This massive fortress is actually a city inside a city inside a city. The outer walls were built to withstand armies, but inside everything was designed for harmony.
Oh my god. This is ridiculous. So today we left Hue. We're on the way closer to the coast where we'll stay for a couple of days and wait for the heatwave to be over because it's absolutely mental. It's 9:30 a.m. I reckon it's about 40 degrees air temperature Celsius and the sun is so much worse. Look at me. Oh my god. I'm melting. We ride only 30-ish kilometers because of it. And then into the safety of AC.
We had to leave our guest house in Hue. Because of some national holidays, everything is booked or expensive.
Between 1965 and 1975, the United States and its allies dropped more than 5 million tons of bombs on Vietnam. That is more than double the total tonnage dropped during all of World War II, directed at a single country. Quang Tri province, just south of the DMZ, received nearly 100 times as many bombs as all of Vietnam, a staggering 3,148 bombs per square kilometer. Out of 3,500 villages, only 11 were not bombed by 1975.
It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning, but we already have 38, 39 degrees.
And in the sun it's more like 46.
Oh, this is brutal. Not pleasant at all. Poor Mathias. And having fun?
Uh-huh. Oh. Hello. So we did a 3-hour break at this family's house.
Nhất tiền. Mình tính luôn. Bị chỗ nào? Đấy. Đựng nước. Thôi. Vô. Selfie.
They waved at us and told us to come when we were looking for a guest house, but it turns out that all the guest houses are closed. We will do another 55 kilometers to Dong Ha, and then we need to see what we do with this heat wave. We might take a bus further to the north because it's incredible, like 43 centigrade. It's insane, it's just madness.
It is normal that it gets super hot by the end of the dry period, but this is not normal, not even for furnace season.
Hello, xin chào. Xin chào. Right. Oh, shit.
The weather forecast is showing 46 degrees Celsius for today. Low temperature is 29 degrees. Yeah, the next 4 days will be horrendous. We're checking if we can take a train further north because my saddle sores got really bad.
However, in the end we decide not to skip ahead. After only 30 kilometers we take a room in a guest house in a little village at the coast to wait out the heat wave.
We've been asking here if we can have some dinner in the evening. She said, yes, sure. So we showed up in the evening and they had prepared an awesome dinner for us. Now this morning we went again and had the proper breakfast soup in the restaurant. And they invited us again for dinner. And wow, I mean, this is incredible. This looks very delicious.
Tại này có rượu ngon.
The guest house we found in the village, well, it's not great. We did not feel welcome at all, which wasn't nice, especially since we had to stay inside with the AC on all day.
Everything got better when we discovered Lai and Niam's neighborhood breakfast soup restaurant. What a lovely couple. Good morning from somewhere in central Vietnam. The temperatures went up to 45 degrees with a very high humidity. Yesterday evening it rained, it poured basically, so it is a lot cooler. And now we want to continue towards Hanoi.
Oh my god, it started raining! We wanted to say a quick goodbye, but now it's raining a little bit.
Oh my god! This is live! She cooked for us the most delicious food!
I guess the rainy season has properly started.
This is how it looks like!
And even though they had already closed the restaurant for the day, Lai served 2 extra big and hearty bowls of soup for us.
She makes a really good breakfast soup. Today I think it was chicken.
While the heavens unload in an unbelievable manner, we have just enough time to finish our soups when the rain suddenly stops.
Bye-bye. Hello.
It's even cold. This is rare in Southeast Asia.
Not sweating at 10 a.m.
Maybe the rainy season's not so bad after all.
We'll certainly see about that when we ride the Ho Chi Minh Highway, reach the capital Hanoi, and eventually the far north of Vietnam.
New episodes are slow right now, and we are so sorry about it. We are currently dealing with personal and family matters, but there is light at the end of the tunnel.
If you love what we do, please share our videos with other people that might like them too. We show the world as we see it in over 50 episodes and counting. This is only possible because of your support.
A special thanks to our awesome contributors on buymeacoffee.com/aworldbiketour and via paypal.me/amazingworldbiketour. Only with your help can we keep our content 100% true to ourselves.
Until next time.
And may the wind be at your back.